breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
Mind-altering drug scandal rocks Washington. Members of Congress could soon be forced to resign because of this. The continuous level-headed discussion of whether high-ranking government officials should be forced to undergo drug testing has quite recently been exposed. A few individuals from Congress were quite recently uncovered for being on a reiteration of mind-altering medications which a pharmacist in Washington, D.C.'s top legislators quite recently uncovered subsequent to feeling guilty about a portion of the medicines he had been giving these authorities for months. He feels that genuine conditions these endorsed meds are to treat can and do have some especially condemning impacts on the sorts of choices these Congress individuals are depended to make. Many lower-level government workers are legitimately compelled to undergo random drug testing for the undeniable reason for being in a data-touchy position. Since these individuals should be clear personality and judgment just to deal with paperwork and procedures, shouldn't the individuals who settle on the huge choices must be more solid judgment than those underneath them? Obviously, control has superseded the security check and enabled numerous individuals from Congress to medicate themselves to perilous levels which have now caused some really significant issues that the pharmacist to the legislators is feeling terrible about. Mike Kim is the owner and pharmacist of the pharmacy utilized by a significant number of D.C.'s most renowned government officials and addressed Stat News' Aaron Mershon around the disturbing pattern he's seen of late. Not just has he been endorsing individuals from Congress with Alzheimer's medication, but at the same time, he's been giving medications to different calamities also, none of which individuals in this monstrous position of power ought to most likely be experiencing. Via Stat News, Mike Kim, the reserved pharmacist turned owner of the pharmacy, said he has gotten used to knowing the most sensitive details about some of the most famous people in Washington. At first it's cool, and then you realize, I'm filling some drugs that are for some pretty serious health problems as well. And these are the people that are running the country, Kim said, listing treatments for conditions like diabetes and Alzheimer's. It makes you kind of sit back and say, wow, they're making the highest laws of the land and they might not even remember what happened yesterday. Kim's tiny pharmacy, which, at its busiest, sends as many as 100 prescriptions to members in a day, is nestled among Capitol Hill's stateliest troll houses, less than 4 blocks from the Capitol building itself. Founded in 1867 and named for a previous owner, the pharmacy predates penicillin, the American health insurance system, and even the Lincoln Memorial. This is no judgment on individuals who take medications, as the openness to treatment to enhance life is a gift of living during a time of current medicine. This involves perceiving your constraints and recognizing a condition and not keeping up an effective position only for control or any reason that could trade off execution and basic leadership capacities. These are normal desires of individuals in lesser limits of any industry, even outside of governmental issues that influence the heading of our nation. All the more critically, this medical condition circumstance brings the requirement for term breaking points to the cutting edge. The same number of our senators and congressmen are slipping into seniority, some of their medications ought to be raised doubt about. In the event that a man gets to an age where they are never again ready to securely work, a vehicle, family, and companions go alongside and say that's the last straw. When we choose our leaders, we expect they are of sound personality and in great physical condition. Nobody is anticipating that a chose authority should run a mile in 5 o'clock minutes level. However, when a person's doctor is prescribing prescription to ensure that you can work at a typical level rationally, at that point it's likely time to make a move. There are numerous senators and congressmen who have been in office for more than 30 years. Huge numbers of these individuals are in their 70s and 80s and are requiring a portion of the meds portrayed before. Age and well-being ought to be an argument for term limits, as unmistakably spoke to by Senator John McCain as of late. While experiencing surgery and post-operative treatment for brain cancer, he made some dubious votes concerning Obamacare repeal and replace. He keeps on torment from brain cancer he has portrayed as very serious, yet stays in office. It has become visible that some high-level leaders in Washington, D.C., are being recommended pharmaceuticals to help with Alzheimer's, dementia, and other concerning health and mental health issues, speaking to a diminished level of mental capacity, memory and different variables that specifically influence one's capacity to perform to limit on a political position. These are consistent medical problems that influence loads of Americans, yet shouldn't we investigate government leaders who experience the ill effects of these illnesses? It appears that it is the ideal opportunity for open legit talk about these major issues. We all depend on our leaders to settle on steady decisions in sound health.